Hi, I'm Cheryl, the artist behind Art by TerraCotta, and I'm going to show you how I set up Notion for myself as an artist and a YouTuber. I do have a disclaimer, however. If you are advanced at Notion, or if you are already using it as a spreadsheet app, a to-do list, then this video is not for you. But if you're an artist and you're trying to organize YouTube and your art in one central area, I strongly recommend Notion. Let me show you what I mean. So this is my home page, and on my home page I have my icon and my cover art, and I have a quote even here with two double dividers for aesthetic reasons. In my Notion, I have divided my information into 5 major categories, and I'm going to call these forums. I wanted to call them databases, but Notion already is using that term. And a database to Notion is anytime you can click on something and it takes you to a table, or we call this a database. Anyway, it's a terminology that Notion uses, but that was how I originally planned to set this up. I wanted to have 5 databases, and each one would be very specific to a different area of my life. But aesthetically, I couldn't do that because in Notion, anything in large font can't be a database. So I wanted to have a large font, and I wanted to have, a pink background or colored backgrounds, kind of like make my artistic view of Notion. But in order to do that, I'm clicking on this right now and it doesn't go anywhere. Click, 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 click on personal. It's not moving anywhere because this is labeled as, let's go into it. This is labeled as heading number 1, meaning the larger of the headings. And if I wanted to make this into a database, I can hit page, and now it is a database. I can click on it and go somewhere, and I can build from here, but that's not the look I'm going for. I would like large fonts, and under that would be, all of my information for each of those categories, but I can't achieve that. So basically, let me put this back to heading number 1. So basically, I was forced to make this just as headings, and under each of the heading, you will see these icons, and that represents many databases that are linked in. So under personal, I have 3 databases. And let me explain one more thing before, that irritating thing on the left side. The reason I kept this is like control center. All of these right here, from copy of personal home all the way down, these are ideas about how to build your Notion account, and they have tons of databases and wikis and note-taking, and it's already programmed. But I built mine from scratch just because I wanted to have things very specific to me, and I didn't find anything that was really specific. I brought a couple ideas from here, and I get ideas about organization, and that's why I keep it. But I do need it for this home, and everything in this entire Notion is based off of that home. So all I need is that. But it's so irritating. This thing pops in and out. It just drives me insane. And this is the problem of having a wide screen. Well, let me show you the 2 screen choices you have. Go up into the upper right-hand corner. There's the 3 dots. And you can go to full width, or you can go to a partial width. And I really like this. I think it's very aesthetically pleasing, but it doesn't work because I can't fit anything. Even if I made these into smaller headings, with smaller font, you have 3 choices of fonts for headings. It just isn't quite right. And also, you'll notice that there's a small text. It's still not going to fit with the content I want. I want 5 forums controlling my Notion. If Notion, the app, would actually make it into 3 different sizes, like a medium size, that would be awesome. Notion is constantly upgrading and changing things, so I really appreciate them for that. But right now, let me give you a bird's eye view of what my homepage is, and then I'll go down to the nuts and bolts. And I know I'm mixing my metaphors, but anyway, bird's eye view and nuts and bolts. So basically, I've already shown you my 5 forums and their subcategories. I'll come back to that in a minute. And then I have the master list. I have 2 master lists, and these are think tanks of large pieces of information. So let's go to the master to-do list. And this has gotten so large that I had to make it its own page. So we have a master to-do list, and I counted these. I have 35 items in this, and this is stuff that I would like to do within maybe the next year. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm going to show you a few items. So make a YouTube video every Wednesday. Oh, that's really ideal. That's my weekly priority. Paint an Indian picture. Okay, so you get an idea. This is for art. And Google Docs. I have a lot about learning technology here. And not only technology for making YouTube, because I'm new at YouTube, making YouTube clips and thumbnails, etc. But it's also about technology. I'm an educator, and I need to learn more technology because we are going online. We were online last semester, and I'm assuming that a large part of our classes will be online this coming semester. I have no idea, but I'm kind of planning ahead. Google Docs is something I will need. Anyway, so this is an idea of what I have here. So here I have my forums, and I'm very specific about this order. I don't want art to be number one. I don't want personal to be number one. I have an order about the priorities in my life for this categorization. So YouTube actually is controlling the summer, my principal amount of time, and education during the summer is getting very little time. In August, I'll start thinking about educational things. YouTube, art, business, and then personal. Okay, so this is the order of things that are priority for me in the next 2 months, basically. Type, this is a breakdown of the forum. So let's look at the different types I have. Let me show you one thing. Forum is on a single select. So you can select any of these items, and I can choose single select or multiple select. And just because it's only going to be categorized in one forum, I want single select. Type, this is in a multi-select area. And so on make YouTube video, I say it's on video, art, and social media. And I have these other options, and I can always add. Anytime I want to add something, I can. And then for tags, this is really specific. It's a multiple select also. And my selections are huge because this has to do with, different specific kinds of technology. Google, Zoom, Kaltura, Blackboard, etc. And then YouTube, and then I have marketing, blog, and digital. So it's programs and very specific aspects of my life, I guess. Okay, so let's go to priorities. On priorities, I have 5 categories, and I thought weekly would be the most important. Now, notice how this is categorized right now. Everything is by weekly, urgent, high. And let's say I change this order. So you can see now weekly is in the bottom because that was my priority list. And this has to do with the filters that I have built into this database. So let us go to the filter. Everything is open for properties. That means all of these task, forum type, all of this is open so I can see every aspect. So filters, I have no filters for this because this is my master list. I don't want filters. I want to see every piece of information. But I do have a sort, and I have 3 sorts actually. I have priority, and that would be ascending. So urgent now, according to my choice within this box, is considered the highest priority. But I actually want weekly to be my highest priority. And now weekly is above urgent and then high. So I said that priority is number 1, and then after priority, it's status. Status, I guess, is hidden. And my status is in 3 groups. It's idea stage, in progress, and then the completed. Now, some people, when they have something that's completed, they want it erased, or they want it to disappear from their database, or to go to a hidden database. I want to see it. I want to see how much I can accomplish by the end of this summer, because I have a lot of tasks to do, setting up my YouTube, etc. And so that is a priority to me. And here I have a checklist for what's happening in the summer. And you will notice, I don't like this right now. I would like to put summer as the first part of the sort, because when I've accomplished a task, I don't want it to be here anymore. I want it to be at the bottom. So I'm going to now put in add a task, and this will be summer category, and that will be, let's try ascending. And it would help if I put the task in the right order. That would help. And there we go. Woohoo! Woo! So now I have the task at the end. And so this is my first point. So if it's already done, I want it to kind of disappear out of my life, or, just from my immediate vision. And now my other sorts are priority would be the next ones. But look at that. I'm so proud. I have accomplished 5 tasks already for this summer. I originally built the master list right here. And as it got longer and longer, it just became really awkward to go to the end. And that's why I had to put it on its own page. And so I actually like that, because now I link in all of my master lists would be there. And eventually I will have a calendar, and I might link in the calendar here, or I will put the calendar at the end, so that this is my home page and I can have a home calendar. I haven't decided about that yet. I don't have my calendar built because I really have very little to put on the calendar, because my YouTube publishing isn't regular just yet, as I just started. Okay, let's go to the Notion Web Clipper. Okay, so here we are over in Notion Web Clipper. And the Notion Web Clipper is kind of an addition to Notion itself. You can actually go to the Notion setup site, and it will give you the options of downloading an additional function. And the function permits you to download from the web. Okay, so here we have the Notion Web Clipper, and I've already installed it. So for me, it would be removed from Chrome. So when you go to the site, you can add to Chrome. So you can add to Chrome, Firefox, Android devices, or mobile devices. And what you're adding is this little icon right up here in the upper right. This allows you to click and save the site. So I'm going to show you how that's done right now. So I have a couple sites here. One of them, the 12 most popular cat breeds. This is really interesting, but I want to read it later. So let's say I will save this site. I click on that, and I'm using Chrome, by the way, which you can recognize. And here it's Notion Web Clipper. I have already used this site for Notion Web Clipper, my links and reading links. So wherever you've saved information to Notion, those sites will come up. And if you're using this for the first time, here you would write the name of the database where you want that to save. I have another database also that I could use as a web clipper. Just remember that you don't have to always send your files to just one place. You can create different places. I'm sending mine to the Notion Web Clipper. Save the page. I promise you it's there. We're not going to go there yet. And here, this is one of my favorite sites. Okay, so this is the site for the Great Courses, which is an educational site. It allows me to, subscribe, or I can purchase one of these courses for a little bit of money. I subscribe to a lot of these courses. And so let me find one that's particularly interesting. I want the one on painting. So why do I need this? Because we are artists. So painting, please come up. Okay, so there are several ones, and I just like how to paint. How to paint. By the way, this is not funded. It's just one of my favorite places to hang out. So right here, I'm going to save this, hit Notion, and save, and it is there. So let me go now to Notion. And here they are. Yeah, so this means they're linked in, and I could read this later. And when I read it later, let me open in a page. Here is a perfect example of what the content was about. So it only takes the content, it doesn't take the ads, and you saw a lot of ads on that page. So here's another one. There are no ads in this write-up. It's pure content. This is awesome. So I know you want to read all about the cats later. So how am I going to use this? How to paint. This is it's a web page, maybe. Let's call it a web page. And the 12 most popular cat breeds, definitely a web page. Status, I have several statuses ready to start. Another status would be ready to start. And honestly, as I'm looking at this, it's not I want start, finished, reading, listening, watching, that's fine. Okay. And summary, how to paint, I would just say they're great courses, and I'm happy. And the next one, it's about cats. It's enough. So this is where I can actually have this huge column, and it's really interesting because here over on the right margin you can see the time when I am actually accessing these, so you know exactly when I made this video clip. Woohoo! Before we look at the 5 different forms, let's go to the last point on my home page, and that is also a master to-do list. And This is the master list, and this also has the same title, but this is a copy. You can tell that by this arrow. So this means this is not the master, but it points back somewhere to the master. It could be anywhere in my database. Why do I have a copy here? Because I'm focusing on content related to priority and status here. Only priority and status. So basically, this master list has 35. This one is what I would kind of like to do during the summer or aim towards doing. Now, realistically speaking, I don't think I can get everything done, but we can dream, and you might as well dream big. So I have, let's just eyeball it and say 15. So basically I have 15 or 17, whatever, activities to do here. It's the same category, the same view, but actually it doesn't have to be the same view. I can change the view. Now, if I make this urgent, that means it changed also in the master list. I can change the order, but if I change the actual content, it will change in the master list. So they're all connected, they're all linked. So I want to keep that weekly. So let us look at how I built this one, because obviously this is a truncated database. What I am looking for is what I would like to accomplish this summer. So I did put in a filter. Filters are where priority is high, or it's very important to get the or in there, or urgent, priority is urgent, or priority is weekly. And just by filtering for these high priority tasks, I'm hoping to get a lot done this summer and to eliminate some of the post-it notes that are getting lost under the post-it notes. I did create a Kanban or a board view, and to get this more minimalistic perspective, I had to turn off a lot of the properties, and of course I'm using filters and sorts. I'll be jumping back and forth between the views. I think the table view is actually better for the literary content, while the Kanban view is better for visualizing my progress. And right now I've already achieved 5, 6 are in progress, and yeah, I still have 9 to start. Anyway, this video is getting a little bit long, and so I am going to continue it next week when I show and explain the 5 forums that I created. So click on subscribe, get the continuation, and give me a like if you found any of this helpful. And I will see you next week. Ciao for now.